Sweet dreams, everyone! Today we shall learn. I've played through this game before, and I wanted to see if my setup works when I'm trying to record something on my tablet. So if I sound weird, that's why. But I really recommend this game if you want to learn pixel art. I've done a bit of pixel art, as you can see over on my Twitter, now called X, but I will never sincerely call it that. And I just want to go through the basics again. Don't think I have the energy to do a full-on drawing stream, so something gamified like that is perfect for the moment. Damn, we did it. We learned how to click on a skill board. Now, let's learn how to use a pencil. And most people probably don't know this. And we're just gonna do some basic filling out drawings. Sometimes you gotta treat yourself to something like that. Most of the tutorials that are available for now are still pretty basic. I'm really hopeful though that over time we're gonna get some complicated stuff. Really interested to see how shading is supposed to properly work, for example. That's one thing I'm really bad at. For now though, bit of the basics. We can now create and erase. Just basically the powers of God, if you think about it. I'm so good we're speedrunning this. Now I am curious how the copyright works, because a lot of these sprites are, well, artwork from, like, Space Invaders and stuff. But thankfully, that's not for me to worry about. I asked the dev if it's okay to stream this, and they said yes, which is very nice of them. Oh. Missed another cap. I have exactly one button on the pen of my tablet, and it's tied to just the Control-Z, because I'm one of those people that overly abuses that when drawing. Can we complete the UFO? I say we can. But now we know it, and it's not a UFO anymore, so maybe we failed actually. Do I have my stuff tied to it? Not all of the buttons. So I will edit my tablet actually, before we continue too far. Oh, what are the buttons in here? B, E, and G. Okay. Where did I even put my tablet editing thing? Cool. Saying it's not installed. However, no, I am using it right now. There we go. Oh, let's set. Let's set the program so I can. I think it's really useful that this tablet lets me set specific stuff for specific programs that we can just find in the video game. Tablet is also not the best for left-handed people, which I obviously am. not even recognize it. Why does it recognize ENVtuber Studio but not this game? Why yes, I want to use this every time I open my Windows system. Is it here or is it not? I don't want to edit my complete settings. Just sounds like a hassle. Is that of acrobatic open? Pixelart Academy Learn Mode. There we go. Now we need B, E, and G. Got my microphone standing on top of my keyboard, which makes it difficult if I would want to access that. Okay, let's see if that worked. Nope. Because I forgot to save it. Nope. Because it's still... Is it reset? Of course. Why wouldn't it? G and C. There we go. Why do something in 2 seconds when you can spend an eternity doing a setup for it, right? Way more efficient. Tell the pros to it. Ooh, now we're getting to reference images. Paintbrush. Can't zoom in on that one, I think. Ah, I need to back edges. And that's 5. 1, 2, 3, 5. Both sides. Like this. Then I notice I've started too far down. Dang it. I do struggle sometimes with keeping to the size of the canvas and doing it properly. That's mostly because I am stupid. What did I do wrong? 3. It's 6. Of course. Counting is not my strength. Very few things are my strength. Of course, we're here to learn, and you're here to learn with me, because I am forcing you to. You do not get a choice. Didn't know they invented those already. What Sonic colors released when pixels were already not around anymore? Because nowadays we obviously don't use pixels anymore. It's funny because sprites back in the day probably didn't really use pixels because screens we had before LCD worked by like Eldritch Magic or something. Okay. Seriously, CRT TVs were weird and really dangerous. It's wild how we just had one in like every household. Now you demand an eye of me. I see how it is, game. I see how it is. Make me reconfigure my tablet over and over again? Well, I don't think so. I'm just gonna do it manually. Ten things Pac-Man throws at you when you're playing Smash Online and just trying to have fun. Hold the Alt key. Oh yeah, that would be useful. I had one of those set. Why? No. Oh. Can I? Gotta see if I can reach my Alt key. Yes, works. My tablet in front of my computer, which makes it a bit more difficult. I need to do that so the camera can at least kind of point at me. Thought about doing a different thing today, maybe? By using the old ENVtuber model again? No. Let's zoom. Although they say zooming in too much on your art is also not the best plan. I do it all the time. And then I look at my thumbnails and think, hey, not my video thumbnails, but you know, the art thumbnails and think, hey, this looks pretty okay. And then I open it and it's like, hey, this is literal trash from the garbage can. Car. It's the X spectrum. Oh, we're getting the light too now. Shift key. All the different kinds of keys this game wants us to have. So that's not how most line tools work. There. So we are making ramps now. We're failing at it more accurately. And by we, I mean me. By me, I mean we. Because you're also at fault for everything I screw up. That's the social contract at work. Gonna be I don't use stuff like light too often. Even in pixel art, I think it just looks better when done by hand. Although I work in 100 by 100 pixel most of the time. Smaller pixel art is really difficult, especially when you have to draw like characters and faces. Because the smallest mistake you can make, you'll instantly see that everything's wrong. Why are we doing this in like a bowling alley or something? What are these background noises? So now the Control Z is deactivated. Now we're going. Undo button, my beloved. Savior of my life. Only thing worth living for. Me when I'm just filling out pixels in this Codemasters logo. It's interesting to have such a gamified art learning experience. See gamified stuff a lot nowadays, especially when it comes to learning languages like Duolingo and all that. I've not seen it a lot in art. And now we gotta go for the challenge. Ooh. Let's go with multiple. Let's go big. And I want to get like that. An enemy. The big green skull. It's interesting that they have this trading card kind of thing here. Didn't have that one back when I played. Oh, it already gives me the colors down here. It's gonna be difficult though. It's because of the different colors chosen for the edge. Now we go darker. Very dark. Don't know what game this is actually. Well, it is. Super Crate Box, obviously. Can't say I'm familiar personally. Concentrating on the outline first is always the play. Color I wanted to pick. Yeah. I Because I know I've chosen the wrong color. But sometimes you gotta. Funny skull creature. And there we go. Our very own skull. Big and green. Study plan. That one's also new. Gonna take a drink real quick. Stay hydrated. Short-term goal. Yep, sure. Play the game. Okay. Do you say? Damn. Snake stream. Is this the gaming enjoyment people come to see ENVtuber for? Like that we have the clicky buttons yet here. Can't wait to air dash with these ones. Wave dash. Can't even say things correctly anymore. This is not gonna last long because I'm not good at video games, as you can clearly tell. The giant snake community is gonna make fun of me for this one. $31. I think that's better than nothing. Now we're drawing snakes' eyes. How should the head of the snake look? Or well, any piece of the body. Can't really do the head individually, sadly. It's the background of the thing. background is yellow. So we can't use yellow. By using yellow, we can give it a bit more layer. Yes. Also needs to be symmetrical. Just a big eye in the middle. It's not the middle. Maybe like this. We'll just have a bunch of eyes following each other. See how that looks. Okay, that looks funny. I'm keeping it. It's hard to be creative with small sprites because most creative things have just been done already. Also, you don't have much space, of course. Now, what would an eye eat? Just fill it up to start with. Can I make loss on this? Okay. Let's turn this like this. Just looks like I'm writing PL. Just want some obscure writings. Because an eye would obviously want knowledge. That also doesn't really work. What does an eye want? What would make an eye lead to more eyes? Maybe we just wait, it should be symmetrical, shouldn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah. Once more. Stupid. Most screwed up heart you've ever seen. Doesn't look good. too rough on the downturn. This looks way better. Yes. Now we've got our very own snake game. Amazing. Gains interests. Interesting. Now we're learning about lines. Straight lines. How do those work? How does one be straight? Who knows? No one in the VTubing space, that's for sure. Incredible. Yeah, curves are difficult. You went too far? No, I didn't. This is a tech. Like, this could be a technique, but I don't think this is ever useful. Because you obviously don't have pre-planned lines when you're drawing. We did it! Broken lines. Why would you break lines? Poor things. Always have to let go when I want to do anything but use my pencil, because I don't have buttons on the right side of the tablet and I can't just put it the other way around. Easily fixable. I forget to do this so often when I'm just doing pixelart. Like, I know the rules, but thinking, that's what I don't know. Practicing stuff by writing. Now you're accusing me of stuff. Would never write. Sapien teaches you how to count. It's amazing. Not up to 6, 7 though. It'd be too OP. What do we want to draw? Banana. too far from the line. Let me cook. Banana. Stylization is another one of those things I really struggle with. Just not that good at it. That's why we try and learn, gain practice, and just try again. I would give you a few more tips at times. So I'm also hopeful for the later tutorials. This one is just pretty simple copying and less, hey, learn the rules of stylization. Although learning by doing is of course a good practice. Palm tree. We learned everything there's to learn about lines. No? No. Wow. Our horrible mistake. Didn't even try yet. Moving my mouse too much while also moving my pencil. Pen. The computer does not like that. That's okay. I will keep doing it. Keep forgetting. And I will keep complaining. So that's what the hero Himmel would do. I have not seen Frieren. From the memes, that's the impression I get from it. Yeah, I went too far. Let me cook. It's also always interesting to keep in mind how zoomed out you want your art to be seen. So when zoomed in, this doesn't look all that good. Zoomed out, it looks really nice. Yeah, I'm gonna take the real picture. Already screwing it up. Yes, I know I've gone too far. It keeps popping up. It's the most annoying thing ever. Leave me alone. Lines and our shapes. Three basic shapes. Rectangle. How do those work? Hold space. No. I have to. You don't let me do things my way. Can I still hold space now? No. Which means I have to do this with my mouse. another reason I don't usually use worm rollers. This idiot still does drawings the old-fashioned way. Went a bit too far from the line. That line wasn't there before. You're gaslighting me. Where's all of this coming from? Erasing all my hard work. I did by pressing 2 buttons. Conformity in not straying from the line. It's the dystopian vision that this game is in store for us. At least it lets me just use my pen now. So I can completely screw up drawing by hand the way I'm supposed to. Really? It accepted that? We did it, Reddit. Three. My favorite activity in every drawing program is to draw a circle, then fail, then press the undo button, then try to draw a circle, then fail, then press the undo button, then try to draw. 90% of my time spent drawing for real. Box. It's the legendary hiding spot Solid Snake used. And his dad when he was on mission in the Soviet jungle. Which is totally real. Ouch. Isn't that the doctor guy that always is a dick to his patients? Spent one time when I was stuck in my parents' place just kind of watching Olive House. It's always a great idea. You want to be even more sarcastic than you already are. That's a temple. Not a western one. Oh, Twin Towers. I was talking about a western temple. Wish they'd let you see the total thing too if you press a button or something. just so you can get a better idea on how those shapes will connect. Transformed. Down. Crazy alchemy on the basic shapes now. What will I turn into? Who will let them? Will I ever learn how to draw a circle freehand? Do I need to use that trick from SpongeBob? He first draws a perfect face and then just erases some features. Can you imagine if that worked? I mean, probably does work. If you could. You know, I get your point, but this is still just a triangle. This is still just a rectangle. The oval tool is actually more common than the circle one. Okay, now this is witchcraft. Someone showed me this. I'm burning them at the stake, I'm sorry. Sideways triangle. What's next? Triangle with 4 edges. Where does it end? Humanity was never meant to see shapes like this. We were meant to look at a fire all day and eat burnt plants or something. Skewed perspective. It's no longer tutorial, this is indoctrination. You don't do perspective here. Do my 1D drawing that's either a point or not, and then I'm finished. Basic shapes break down. Me when I'm in kindergarten. Did you see the other one? 'Cause this one looks more beautiful. Okay. Nice house by the sea or the river, or a lake more likely. Can't imagine being able to afford property. Couldn't be anyone I know. Okay. There was still one line missing, but I guess fine with it as it is. Trees. That does look really idyllic though. Ironically though, very pixelate. And I know it's not the biggest deal with reference images, because I'm not copying directly anyways. I personally just like using reference images that allow me all the detail. Because I know I screwed up. Let me finish cooking. Let me You're screwing up in other ways too. Why fix your mistakes when you can make more? I think that's what life's all about. I wonder how far it's gonna go in the full release. I know there's a roadmap and all. I haven't checked it in a while. That's a beautiful house by the seaside. And I would have made it like some waves here. Like in the previous tutorial. Detailing and everything I'm really bad at. Did the pagoda last time, let's go with the other city this time. I can even manage to click one line. Kind of big book on learning perspective. I've also not used it a lot because I barely do backgrounds. So why do backgrounds when you can draw a singular character from 3/4 perspective over and over again? Perspective is just complicated. Those actual rules. This is how humans see the world. Well, maybe I don't. Maybe I have 20 eyes. Human rules don't apply to me. Wait, that's the wrong button. Now one of my buttons just does that. Which one was it though? Whatever. Maybe sometimes screen just wants to return to the intro. Sometimes I gotta be like that. And we all want to return to the start sometimes. It's just a human desire, so I can't deny it to stream either. What circles are you looking at there? Are the trees? Put this more background-ish. Most of them are covered houses. This is a really hard scene to do in monochrome. I don't think it works that well, personally. not bad, but it doesn't show the layered feeling. It makes the picture so special. Or at least in my opinion. No, I am complaining a lot, but I do like this game. I just also like complaining. Gotta be one of my favorite hobbies. It's also just a really calming experience. You know, like how some people do those like mandalas or something, or just coloring books. Now we get detail. Now I've drawn too far out of line. I should be better. Normally you'd probably do this on different layers, I feel. Or at least I would. With rough draft and more details. Everything's saved so you can go back when you realize you've completely screwed up. Because you have. Every time. Now we have a bit of the three-dimensionality going. Erasing half the lines we've made before. Which is another reason I don't like using form tools. It's a decent amount of control, but not enough control for me, personally. Then again, I don't have a formal or any real art education. Aside from buying cheap "This is how you draw manga" books. And getting tips from friends that are actually good at art. I think everyone should have at least one creative hobby. It's just good to have something like that, you know? Creative outlet. Though, of course, art will make you go insane. That's also part of the fun. Everyone should be insane. Obviously. Still don't feel like we're drawing quite the same scene as here. We're really only drawing the one building, which is a shame, but also fair because it's a really detailed scene. Just think it also looks really cool. Lived in really flattened areas most of my life, so seeing cities that are built more three-dimensional, especially three-dimensional with more pre-modern is not the term, but you know, not modern skyscraper architecture, just naturally grown over the centuries. Kind of stuff is really cool to me. Because all the cities I've lived in are like linear, flat. So the tourism sensors in my brain are tingling whenever I see any height difference. Oh, okay. Not that I got to do a lot of tourism either, but you know what I mean. It's different, so it's cool. It does look good too. It's not really the same vibes. Okay, game says no more photo. So no more photo. Shapes can be filled with color, yet more witchcraft. So if you want to check out this game, there's a free demo on Steam you should be able to find, in case you don't wanna buy the full one yet. Demo has, I think, pretty much what we've covered so far. I personally played the demo first and then thought, hey, this is cool, and I wanna support the guy who is making this. So I bought the full version. It has evolved a lot since I first played, like the study plan and everything. Wasn't here yet. It does feel a little kindergarten sometimes though when we're just drawing the house. Me sitting, drawing, whimsical. You are mad at me, but I am just drawing. Small sound effects are also cute. We have drawn a house. Now we can live there forever. Organic shapes. Why do we want to shape organs? Roughly mark the bigger parts. Went a bit too far from the line while roughly marking. That shouldn't be a thing. Video game hates me and my free spirit. I will never be forced, except right now, where I very much am. Because I need to fulfill its demands to progress. And games saying you did good make mental number go up. It's a very different shape compared to the rough run did before. It's more like we did the outer boundaries. So it looks really like a Pokeball. And love capturing Pokemon. I mean, that's how it works in lore. Or at least worked. Like Legends Arceus and the Johto games. We learn that Pokeballs can be made by one specific plant, by one specific guy, in one specific village. Or just by a player character, whenever you feel like it. And for the Johto games, all of those balls were falsely programmed, including one that gets stronger when you're capturing Pokemon that evolve by using a burn heal on them. Pokemon programming has always been such a mess. Never really got better. Got different in the 3D era, and a lot of bugs are very apparent when you just move through the overworld, of course. Pokemon has never been good at even making the games do what they're supposed to. In Gen 1 they didn't even understand their own randomizer system. So that every move that is supposed to hit guaranteed has a 1 to 255 chance because they didn't to miss because they didn't know what greater than means. It's really a sign to follow your dreams, even if you think you don't have the skills. Pokemon devs didn't have the skills, and did that stop them? Somehow no. I love hating on things I like. It fulfills me in life, you know? Gotta be a bit of a hater, I feel. Gotta keep your hate for the inconsequential stuff, so you have nothing but love left for the people you surround yourself with. And yes, I am obnoxious to watch movies or series with. Thank you for asking. Why did we draw part of this plant underground? I mean, I guess to have the full circle, but I don't think anyone would use a full circle in this circumstance. I guess the oval tool is more accessible than the like half oval tool. We've learned everything there is to learn about organic shapes. No, there is organic shapes. 2, even organicer. I like this one more because it's less copyrighted. That's how it works. That's how taste works, by the way. The more copyrighted something is, the less you should like it. Which is why you're now allowed to like Steamboat Willie, but not more modern depictions of that rat. Next year you'll be allowed to like the works of Bertolt Brecht. Not now. For now you still have to hate them. As we all know, once something is in the public domain, you can finally make a slasher horror movie with it. And nothing else. Because the slasher movie people are the only ones that still make stuff, apparently. And everyone else just doesn't bother. Like, it's not something that's bad about slasher movies and stuff that every time a character enters the public domain, they instantly get a slasher movie and nothing else. It's more like, okay, why isn't anyone else doing something useful then? If you don't like the slashers. I don't like the slashers. I can at least say, hey, they're making content. You want you Winnie the Pooh stuff? Obviously you do. Then make it yourself. Also goes for Popeye and every other character. Obviously. Still feel like this would be the perfect moment to also teach about layers. I get the wanting to do one thing at a time constraint. I don't know how useful it is, especially with a learning by doing approach. So a lot of stuff you just gotta learn at once to fully get the synthesis, you know? At least for me, when I learn something, it's often like, hey, I also want to do this stuff. Isn't it possible to do this stuff? And then I look it up and yeah, it is possible. And now I'm at step 1 and I already know something for step 500, because step 500 often helps with step 1. Everything is connected. It's also what makes it hard to make such a hyper-structured learning experience. The experience gotta, at some level, be linear, but learning is, of course, not linear. At least, not for most people, I feel. Well, it's more rare to just not have jumps in learning every once in a while. Go, oh, I get it. It's, of course, always the feeling you want your students to have. And then again, that's the benefits when you have a chance to get anything personalized. Which again, it's not like I have, but when you're learning by a book, you also just go, oh, what about page 500 billion? That, you know what's stopping you from just scrolling over? What are they gonna do? Call the book reading in the correct order and only linearly police? Those don't have jurisdiction in Germany. We are slowly creating cat. Cheshire cat. Which in German is just called grinning cat. In English you have the special term Cheshire grin, just for this cat. One, two, five. Now that's another thing where layers would just be useful, because you could just say, hey, get rid of the lower layer. And your computer would have to obey. You control it. I like how it accepts the blue in some spaces and then says, hey, you screw it up. And I just deleted blue spaces. Again, there's something missing here and here. Should it really interrupt my task? And shouldn't you have told me when I was trying that part? Probably. It's interesting that it doesn't. Like how it's perpetually staring at me here. Evil cat. No cat could be evil, but also every cat is kind of evil. It's just what they do. I feel like we're missing a bit here. A bit more definition. Okay, but with that part of the study plan once more done, I think I'm going to end it here for today. Didn't want to stream too long, just wanted to showcase a bit of this. I want to play more of this too, especially when we get more updates. I'll see how I will do things, but for now, thank you for watching, and as always, sleep well.